Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray and I would like to thank you once again for joining me for part 5 of our trip to Trinidad and Tobago. So here we are on our way to harvest. Can I use the word harvest? Sure. To find some cocoa. That was the plan for today. Also, let me know in the comments below if you're like me and you get some type of feeling whenever you see trees that were cut down. I always kind of feel sort of sad. While on our way, we happened to stumble across this really picturesque restaurant. It was called the Santa Luisa restaurant. It was surrounded by cocoa trees, but we had to also take a stop inside. I will say I was definitely blown away by the views. As you see up there is seating. Yeah, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And look, I'll be 100% honest. I cannot tell you guys where this restaurant is specifically because I don't know where we were. So if any native Trinidadians would like to comment down below where we were at this moment, feel free to. The lady at the restaurant kindly directed us to an area further down the hill where we may be able to pick some of the cocoa and take it home with us. So here we're just driving through and I'm showing the cocoa on the trees there. If you look closely, you could probably see a few pods on there. So we didn't have much luck finding any on the farm, but what we did find was some in a wonderful sweet lady's yard. So we pulled over to the side, and in true Trini fashion, she was ever so welcoming and kindly allowed us to go into her backyard and try to pick some of the cocoa that she had there. And so here they are. My dad attempted first and only made it a quarter of the way down. My boyfriend decided, despite the shoes, we were still gonna get this cocoa. Look at him, y'all, so proud of him. While he's grabbing that cocoa, let's talk about this backyard. I honestly would not mind having this as my backyard. Grass? Who needs grass when you've got like cocoa trees and banana trees and God knows what else? Honestly, I would take this over grass any day. And yay, he did get one. Look at him struggling to come back up, but we made it. So then we thanked the lady and offered to get her some cocoa, but she said she had plenty. As my boyfriend was cleaning the mud from his shoes, it appeared that our hunt for cocoa was being observed by someone else. So a stranger walked up to us and offered to gather some more cocoa for us and the lovely lady. I do not know how he did this. This was so incredibly skillfully done. He was in, I swear he was barefoot or just in flip-flops. And this guy got us cocoa in less than 5 minutes. He walked through this bush like he was walking through his living room. And when I say he almost disappeared in this bush, I'm trying to find him now. But yeah, he went in there and did what he needed to do, guys. And out of the bush he crawls after a successful hunt. So we thanked the gentleman kindly, and we were back on our way with cocos in hand. But our cocoa hunt was not over. And then we were back on the road to our next destination. And here we arrived at the garden center. So the garden center has a plethora of plants, like so many plants, as you'll see in the next few clips here. But it also has sitting areas, picnic areas, and places that, you know, you can just take pictures. And just to note, the garden center is a large area, so they do have available golf carts that you can use in order to drive around if you so choose. There is the front section when you walk in where they're selling the plants that is free for you to look at. But if you do want to go see the rest of the area, you do have to pay. There's a band that they give you. If I remember correctly, I think it was maybe $50 per person. I'm not sure. But once you pay, you'll be able to basically have free range of the grounds and explore where you want. Spot is perfect for picnics. You could bring your lunch here, hang out. There is a little prayer area down here as well that you'll see in the future clips. There's a rule here that you cannot pick any of the fruits on the trees. So there's a ton of fruit trees wherever we're walking. Like most of the trees that you see do bear fruit. But again, the rule is that you're unable to pick them. And after our picture taking, we hopped in our car to explore the rest of the grounds. It was a lot to walk it. And look who we found. I forgot to mention, they do give you a map so that you can navigate your way along the grounds. So we found on the map that there was this really cool cabin somewhere, so we decided to go find it. And I'll say, thank goodness we did not have to walk this. Eventually, we found the cabin. Okay, maybe cabin is a generous word, but still, it was beautiful. And you could rent this out if you'd like to and spend some days and nights here. They have basically all the accommodations that you need. They have cooking supplies, they have a fridge, they have a place where you can wash up. It was beautiful. Me personally, I will spend a couple nights here when we return to Trinidad. There's even an upstairs that you can go and have a sit down and just enjoy the views. Now, I wouldn't necessarily go into the bush around the area, but you know, definitely a place with a good vibe and a great hangout spot. And we were off again, back on the road, headed to Mona's roti shop to grab us something to eat before we headed back to indulge in our spoils of the day. We actually returned to San Fernando Hill to sit down and eat our meal. I ordered the curry chicken roti. And when they make the curry chicken, they do not take the bones out. So the chickens are kind of chopped up in here. So when you bite into it, you do have to be careful of the bones, but it was delicious. And yes, about the size of my face, but that's all right. And back at our Airbnb, would you take a look at these beautiful cocoa pods? So we decided to open them up and give them a taste. There was some that were ripe and some that were not. And we're still learning how to tell which one was which. So if you guys know how to tell which one is ripe and which one isn't, put it in the comment section below. And this is the ones that are not ripe. This is what it looks like when it's a little too dry for enjoyment. I do believe it could still be used to make cocoa though, it's just not to be enjoyed kind of raw in this way. The one that my dad opened was ripe enough, so this is what you kind of want it to look like, and he was demonstrating that we can just take a big bite off the top. That's how they eat it. You could peel it like my mom does, and what you're wanting to do is basically suck that kind of white stuff from around the seed. You're not going to chew or eat the seed, you're just going to suck that sweetness from around it. And I will say that this one was sweet. And once again, we have come to the end of this vlog. Thank you again for joining me on this journey of our trip to Trinidad. If you like this video, don't forget to like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Toodles!